Hey, it's Bill Gross, the LA probate expert, and I am always looking to interview great industry experts and resources to help us build our business. And I met along the way here recently Pantea Bionki, who is Bionki Interiors, a home staging company, and a lot of information, misinformation about home staging, and a lot of gaps in information. So I had a nice chat with her. I thought, let's just record this and share it with everybody. So, Pantea, welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Bill. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. So give me a little background. Where did you grow up and how did you get into the home staging business?
Yeah, my background is in interior design, and I started the home staging business little over a year ago, and I actually got certified through home stager um, through home stager training, and I am part of Real Estate Home Staging Association as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, I will be happy to answer any questions you have.
Great. What was it about home staging that drew you to it? I mean, of all the things, when you were a little girl playing with dolls, did you say, someday I'm going to stage homes, or how did that happen?
Yeah, um, obviously I love interior design. That's where my pursue my passion. But with home staging, it's actually a lot more faster paced than interior design, and I love to go through that route because I am all about helping other people too, and feeling that I'm helping all the realtors with this service, it actually makes my heart very happy.
Oh,
So that's a big part of it.
so and just a little background on you personally. Where'd you grow up?
I've been living in Diamond Bar area for 22 years.
Oh,
Before that, my nationality is Persian.
oh, very nice.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. I lived in Diamond Bar. We met in Diamond Bar, I think, but I lived in Diamond Bar and left about 26 years ago. So I lived there for 15 years. I grew up in La Habra Heights and then got married, moved to Diamond Bar, and lived there for a while. So tell me about staging. Typically, you're contacted by realtors or home sellers, or who reaches out to you to get the home staged most commonly?
It's mostly realtors, but I have had some homeowners who contacted me as well. So it's both, basically. Whoever knows, if they know your work and your business and your work ethic and your style and they like it and all that, they contact you. But mostly it's realtors they contact me, yes.
You're located in Diamond Bar. So what's your service area? How far around Diamond Bar do you go to service clients?
Yeah, my business is in Chino Hills and my warehouse is in Pomona, and we do go around 1 hour within the radius within that area. So we go Orange County, San Bernardino, LA.
Well, 1 hour at 5 p.m. is different than 1 hour at 10 a.m. So, but
Yes,
so it sounds like LA, Orange County for the most part, and Riverside, San Bernardino County is
yes,
most of it, at
yes.
least in the metro
Uh,
areas.
yeah.
Well, good. And I'm sure every case is different, but for somebody who's considering home staging, what's an approximate cost? If I'm a standard kind of 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,800 square foot house that's empty, and in my case, I do a lot of probate, real estate. What's the cost to stage the property and make it look nice?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Basically, the way we price and staging code is based on the location of the house, the luxury level of the house, and we do a little bit of research about buyers demographic and how we need to. There is definitely knowledge into staging a house rather than just putting a sofa there. So we actually do a little bit of research before we put a code. But let's say for a 1,500 square foot, you wanted to do primarily area, which is one living room, one dining room, kitchen accessories, and primary bedroom and the master bathroom. For all that, our minimum price starts at 3,500. So we
Okay.
don't go below 3,500. And then
Okay.
obviously if the house is bigger, it needs more stuff and it needs more furniture and accessories, the price will go higher than that.
Okay. Typically, from time you get inquiry, how long is it from inquiry to you're able to deliver the merchandise and have it set up?
Our staging happens usually somewhere between 2 to 4 or 5 hours. So we start and finish within the same day. I have
Mm.
a big crew that are helping us to set up. I have movers, assistants, staging assistants. They all on board to help for each staging, and that's how we roll. We normally are in and out. If the house is ready, the way it says on the contract, it's clean, and we can just go set up and be out of place. And normally agents do the photography on the same day in the afternoon.
Do you, so if the property is not clean and ready to go, do you offer that as an additional service, or is that something that the agent has to take
We
care of?
do, we do have our vendors that we can refer to the agent, but we definitely are contacting to the vendors, or we can arrange that, but we definitely need to discuss with the agent. Normally agents have the house clean and ready for us, and
Right.
we just go and do the staging. But if any agents that need painters, they need gardeners, they need cleaners, we have all those resources to refer them for sure.
Now, sometimes, as you know, sellers want to price it high to see what the market is, and it takes longer to sell than they expect. So I imagine you have a fee, but there must be some continuing cost. At what point do you charge an extra fee? Is it 30 days, or how long is it before we start paying extra money for the material?
Yes, so our contract used to be 30 days, when the market was really fast paced, past 5, 6 months ago. But now the houses are sitting in a market a little longer, or it's a little riskier. We extended our contract to 45 days, and sometimes we do 60 days or 90 days based on the realtor's request. So whatever the contract say, and we sign the contract, after that, let's say it's 45 days. And then after 45 days, we charge them the rental fee of whatever is sitting in that house monthly. They
I
can
also have a
renew.
monthly rental fee. So what would a common rental fee be for $3,500 worth of material? What would a common rental fee be?
I
Just as
would
an idea.
say roughly about $1,800, $1,900.
Okay, so maybe 50% or more, maybe
Yes,
slightly.
yes, yeah.
Is the fee paid in advance? Is it on a credit card? Do they sign a loan? How do you handle payment?
We get fully paid before the staging starts. Before we bring anything to the property, we get 100% paid. And then they can pay with credit card, they can pay with check. And if the owner needs help with staging fund, there are services like Casa Home,
Mhm.
and that they are paying for the staging, and they can pay them back when the escrow closes.
Yeah, and I do that for my clients. I'll put on a credit card and help advance sometimes. And on probate cases, we can advance them the money on a probate, advance our adherence at a time to pay for it if that's the way they want to go. So good. So what do you think makes you different than other staging companies? I'm a real estate agent. You're not the only one I've met. I'll say you're the only one I've seen in the last 6 months. And I kind of like your professional approach to this process. But if I was talking to an agent who maybe has met other staging companies in the past, what do you feel makes you stand out versus the competition that I should select you?
Yeah, I think my strength is to truly understand what gives the buyer the best first impression. In each property is different. So when I go to a property and see the property, I can quickly envision what is happening, what needs to go there. And with my interior design background, it's just so helpful to know all the things that goes into person walking to the property and make a decision within the first few minutes in their head.
Right.
I know how to bring that to the table very nicely. And I do constantly rotate my inventory to just not to stick with the older stuff. My inventory is very fresh and clean and looking. So when people go to the market and see homes and feel that the house is fresh and it's just done, and they can just walk in and they'll be like, wow, if this is like a model home, that's a seller ticket. And every single house we stage was sold on average 17% above asking price, even in this market.
Is the material you have in the property, the inventory you have in the property, for sale as well? Is that part of the process, or is yours just? I know there are companies that do that, But to me, it seems kind of odd. Like I'm trying to sell a house and you're trying to sell a sofa. But I can imagine it keeps the cost down. Is that something you do or you don't do?
Yeah, we do get a lot of requests when we stage a house that the buyer wanted this table or the buyer wanted this artwork or the what anything in the property. We do actually go to our inventory and check out and see if it's easy for us to replace it, we do sell it. If it's like impossible for us to replace it, then we say no. But we normally sell what we have, and if they're very interested, we do have a price for it. Yes.
Do you put price tags on each of the items or a little anything like that? I've seen that done. I saw a company that did that. I knew a company who actually made money selling the furniture. That was their business model. They made more money on that than they did on the actual staging fees. And it was a way for them.
I know some people used to do that when the inventory was super low, everybody changed their perspective because we had to wait for a sofa to arrive for 6 months.
Yeah.
So that kind of changed that perspective.
And to me, like I said, it seems kind of cheesy. I'm trying to sell a $1 million house. The last thing I would do is be selling coffee tables and picture frames. It doesn't seem to make sense what we do. Yeah. So you obviously work with a variety of real estate agents. Some who have done well for the last couple of years and are struggling. Some that are still doing well. Give me a little business advice to a realtor. What do you see as a common thread with real estate agents who are still doing well in this market?
I think staging is actually helped the real estate agents look a lot. Like it helps them look good because that's their listing and it goes in the market professionally and it sells quickly with the highest money possible they can get for that property when it's staged, done, nicely done. And then what happened when they sell the house for the biggest ticket in shortest amount of time is that home seller will be referring that agent to other people because the whole process was so pleasant for the home seller. So it's like more business coming towards them when they do that. Also, as a home stager, I always wanted to mention to all the realtors that we are part of your team. We are working towards the same mission that you have to just sell the house in the shortest amount of time for the highest ticket money. And I personally am speaking for myself. I'm not a kind of stager who just get things done and get out and don't care. I follow up with my realtor. What is happening? Are you getting offer? I actually sometimes go back home and look at the pictures I took at the property that I staged, and I'm like, oh, I think it looks better if there's a planter in this corner, and I go back and fix that. Wow. I just do extra miles to just help the agent to sell their property with the highest price and shortest amount of time. That's really my number one goal. And I have a lot of passion for what I do. So you will see in my work what is going on.
Okay, well, and look at you. I know you've done real well with this and I'm impressed with your track record. But help the real estate agents understand, what do they need to do to be successful? The ones who are struggling, what do they need to do that the ones who are not struggling are doing? If you were to give advice to a real estate agent to help them with their business.
Yeah, well, right now, definitely, this is a market that everybody has to work actually to make money, to be able to sell. So they have any advertising tool they wanted to use, any marketing tool they wanted to use. They have to constantly be on it to be able to sell their listing or get a listing. They have to use every single bells and whistles possible have on the table to be able to sell, because buyers have time right now. They're not rushing to make offers. They have few other options to go through, and they can take their time to make decisions and pick and choose. So if their listing looks great and they're selling, it's definitely going to help the real estate agent in that matter.
Fantastic. So Pantea, I see in the background there that you have the company is in Bionki Interiors, and they have a phone number 909-706-5347. Is that the best way to get in touch with you?
Yes, that's my number. You can get in touch with me. We do offer free estimate over the phone, so you will have an estimate roughly how much it's going to cost you to stage that property, and then If you agree to that, we go and visit the property and just give you the exact numbers.
Got it. And your website is bionkiinteriors.com, and it gives a really nice overview of your company. I liked it. And then it also has right there book discovery call where you can actually, right from there, just book a time with her, with Pantea to discuss what your options are and how to be successful. I think it's important that we offer ourselves out there, that we'd be willing to give some value to get some value back. So I really enjoyed meeting you previously. I've enjoyed chatting with you, and I really appreciate your time today, Pantea. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Bill. Thanks for having me. It was great chatting with you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.